We are going to take today to talk to you about the men's swimming field for the upcoming U.S. Olympic trials. We have so many amazing athletes, and Katie and I are so excited to dive into it. So I'll start. I'm going to talk about our distance freestylers and who to watch. So historically, the U.S. has not had a very deep field when it comes to men's distance swimming. That all changed when Bobby Fink stepped onto the scene. Bobby won both the 800 and the 1500 at the Tokyo Olympics. He was the first American male distance swimmer to win the 1500 since 1984. That is how long that drought was. And he has just been so consistent over these past several years, just really staying on that podium for those men's distance events. So if you are watching men's distance swimming at Olympic trials, you're going to see Bobby Fink.
Yeah, and I would say the one piece on that is his last 50 is legendary. So you cannot count him out until the last second.
Absolutely not. He could literally be in 8th place, and on that last 50, he can come back and win. So don't fret.
Don't fret. All right, so moving on, we've got sprint. So we've got 4 here. So we've got Jack Alexi from Cal.
Yes.
We've got Caleb Dressel. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know Caleb Dressel. He is going to be a force for the 100 freestyle and the 50 freestyle. We've got Destin Lasco and Brooks Curry to round out our top 4.
Yeah, and the fun thing about the 100 and 200 freestyle in particular is because they take top 4 instead of top 2 for relays and potentially top 6 for alternates, that's the chance for some different names to get on the team. So those events in particular are really fun. So the 100 and the 200 free, just keep an eye out because there's a chance you might see some names that may not have been quote unquote expected to make the team that are still making their spot. So along with the sprinters in those 1500 freestylers, we have our mid distance, which is 200, 400 freestyle. And the 3 names I'm going to give you are Luke Hobson, Kieran Smith, and Drew Kibler. Now, all 3 of these guys are so talented. They've had an amazing 3 years in between the most recent Olympics and this now upcoming Olympic trials. Super consistent. So I would definitely look for them 200, 400, and for that opportunity to be on the 4x200 freestyle relay.
All right, we're going to move on to breaststroke. So I've got 3 names. We've got Michael Andrew, who is actually the current American record holder in the 100 breaststroke. We've got Nick Fink, who is actually a bit more versatile. He does the 100 and the 200. And then Matt Fallon, who has come onto the scene fairly recently in the 200 breaststroke. He is going to be one to watch.
I've got backstroke, of course. So 2 names I want you guys to remember for backstroke are the United States dynamic duo. It is Ryan Murphy and Hunter Armstrong. Both of these 2 athletes have really been pushing each other the past several years. Ryan Murphy, of course, household name. He burst onto the scene in 2016 when he brought home gold in both the 100 and the 200 backstroke. And Hunter Armstrong, who also trains with him at University of California, Berkeley, has really been coming up and has been right by his side the entire time. So we're going to see a lot of those 2 together when it comes to your backstroke events this summer.
All right, moving on to the IM, of course, my best. So for the 200 IM, I'm going to say Carson Foster. Carson actually won a silver medal at the World Championships last year in the 400 IM, but he's looking a little speedy. So I'm going to put him in the 200 IM.
I love that.
We've got Chase Kalish, who is the reigning Olympic champion from Tokyo in the 400 IM, but his 200 IM is just as strong. Well, I'll say his 200 IM is pretty strong. His 400 IM is definitely the strongest. And then I'll round it out with Jay Litherland, who actually won a silver medal when the U.S. went 1-2 last time in Tokyo. So I'll put Jay for the 400 IM for sure.
And just a note on the IM too for people watching is each swimmer has their own individual strengths in strokes when it comes to individual medley. So when you're swimming all of them together, those are some of the most fun races to watch because the leader changes so consistently. And last but not least, we have our butterflyers. So another Cal guy. All right, so 3 names. I've got Dare Rose, who's just been phenomenal lately. He's been so consistent. And a kind of up-and-comer, very young Thomas Hellman. So Thomas really burst onto the scene. He's only 17 years old, but he is phenomenal. He just started competing internationally, but is already placing just off the podium. And I think we're going to see a lot from him, not just this summer, but he has a major career ahead of him. So definitely keep an eye on Thomas Hellman. And then Carson Foster as well. You mentioned him for the IM, but I think the 200 fly is another huge strength of his as well. So that rounds us out for all the men for Olympic trials this summer. So we are so excited for you guys to tune in. We are so excited to be there and watch, and let us know what you guys think, who you're cheering for. And thanks again.
And go USA.